Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm kind of a little burnt out, honestly, on story time, so I kind of wanted to switch things up a little bit. Um, Not to say like there's not gonna be story times or anything, but just like, oh my god, I'm like trying to think of things like to talk about in my head, but like literally nothing's coming to mind. Literally just like blank. So I mean, there are some stories that I am like currently like working on and stuff, but like until then, I wanted to have just kind of like a fun video. Um, and one thing that I did recently is I watched Squid Game 2, the second season, and I have a lot to say about it. I watched the season 1 right before it. Um, Very good. I really don't have much to say about season 1. It was just a really solid show. Um, there's really no complaints, nothing. I kind of want to rewatch season 1 too. I was talking to someone about it and like they were rewatching and I'm like, damn, like I should even rewatch it. Even though I just watched it, it's like, okay. Um, but we're here to talk about season 2. And if you haven't seen it, um, I guess what could I say about season 2 if you haven't seen it? I'd say it was good. It was definitely good. It's definitely a bit more slow. And I feel like it didn't build on a lot of the things like season 1 did, where it comes to like lore and just kind of like um, more question based things. Because I really wanted to know, this was me going into season 2. I really wanted to know like the circle, the square, and the triangle guys, like really what like got them to that job. Why are they there? Why is the game maker game making? Like I wanted like lore kind of like from the Squid Games people themselves, or like even when season 1. This is spoilers for season 1. But there's that police guy and he was going through the files and there were so many Squid Games. Like I want to like delve deeper into like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't really I'm kind of shocked they didn't delve deep in season 2 with that. I feel like they delved deeper into season 1 with that. Like season 2 just like um I feel like there wasn't a lot of expansion. Like it was just like a Squid Game again, which is fine. Like it was fun. Um but like I don't know, I feel like that area could have been improved. Um I guess to wrap it up though, at least this is like pre spoilers. Like if you haven't seen it, and like then I'll delve into the plot and stuff or whatever. This is such a random video. I'm so tired. I need sleep, but I'm like, I want to talk about this because it's like fresh on my mind. Um, if you haven't seen it, I would still recommend watching it. Like it's Squid Game. Like of course it's gonna be good. Of course it's gonna be like it's a good show. Like there's reasons why there's like shows that are like killing it. It's because they're good. And like I think Squid Game is one of those, and um even if it's not as good as season 1. Like season 1 was just like perfect though. Like you can't like recreate that. So I mean I wasn't expecting that, but like I think they continued it pretty well. I think they continued it pretty well for, what happened or whatever. Okay, let's get started. So it starts really slow. Like we'll start with the first couple episodes. It starts really slow. Like you see the main guy. I don't even know his name. We'll call him 456. Player 456. Like he's starting, and it's just kind of showing like what his life came to like after the games and stuff. And I mean, he's not doing the best. Let's just say that. And I think he's harping on the games a lot, which very traumatic. Like it's not you don't just go to the games and like leave, like you're not that's not the vibe. So he does that. And it also follows the police guy, and he stopped like investigating like super high depth into people. Um, I guess what would you call those? Like investigation cases. Like he's like a traffic cop now, basically. And then oh, he's trying to go after what the fuck's his name? What the fuck's his name? The guy who's the recruiter for Squid Games. Because it's coming around the time when the Squid Games are gonna start again. And he wants to like get on their case because he's like so traumatized. Player 456. He's so traumatized and like he honestly resents the games. He resents the games and like he wants revenge of some sort, like with that. So he like hires all these people and all this whatnot, and then they're I'm giving like a whole plot. That's crazy because like I was barely even watching the show. Like, how do I remember all that? But he's like hiring these people. They're really trying to find like a lead on how to go about like the Squid Game business. How do we find these people and how do we put like a stop to it or whatever? They end up finding the recruiter guy, and he ends up playing Russian roulette with them, and it's like this whole thing of like the like he's kind of even asking the recruiter guy the thing I'm curious about, like why the fuck are you a part of these games? Like that's like the biggest question I wanted to know. Like there's so many of the circle squares and I don't even know what to call that. Like the guys in the hoodies with the guns that are like, you know, the henchmen for the game. Like where the fuck do they come from? Are they getting paid a lump sum? Are they kind of trapped there? Like what's going on? You know what I mean? Because they were showing in season one how they were um there were some that were like, I guess you could call them defecting, but like the game maker didn't really care. Um, and you know, just like doing things like on the black market. They were selling like people's live organs on the black market, which is whoa. But like they cut to the game maker and he's like, I don't really care what they do with the bodies, and it's like that's crazy. What do you mean? Um, so yeah, not much regulations there. But just like who are these people? Like that was my biggest question going into this, and I still just like I feel like that's not answered. But we'll continue. So they play Russian roulette. Um Player 456 obviously lives, and then the recruiter guy dies on like the last bullet in the chamber. The police guy comes in and he's trying to arrest player 456. I think he's probably thinking that 456 has something to do with the games, like actually like a bad guy in the games. It was following them like separately, because they both were still kind of looking to the games, I think. Um, and then you know he sees like this guy and he like shots. He thinks he shot him, so like um, yeah, they fight or whatever. And then somehow they like figure out that they're on the same team. Like he just tells them the whole spiel and they start working together. So they're working together. Um they find somewhat of a lead. They go to a club with like the masked men. Oh, so the guy who what the fuck's his name? What the fuck's his name? The recruiter guy. That's what I'm thinking of. Um Sorry, I blinked because I remembered where he was like stomping on all this bread in the park. He literally this was crazy. Complete side note. But he's like going up to a bunch of like homeless people and handing them like food and a lottery ticket. And they can either choose one. And most people chose the lottery ticket. And then all the bread that they didn't choose, he's like stomping on it in the middle of the square. Crazy, crazy. Um, like what the fuck? So they go to this club because they find the little card in the recruiter's jacket. They're supposed to like meet up for the Squid Game at this time. Somehow the Squid Game people like know, so they like shock like player 456 friend that like ran into the club with them, and then they kind of like lure player 456 to a limo I don't know, so that they could get in contact with him. And like this is like a common thing, like they're kind of keeping him alive, and I don't really know why they want to keep player 456 alive. But I think that's like a really important thing because it's like why the fuck would they not shock him? Why the fuck would they not kill him? Like I'm kind of wondering if like maybe they wanted to see like what it would be like having an uprising, how they could handle it like as a team with the Squid Game team. Um but like I don't understand why they're keeping him alive. So they kept him alive and he's in this limo talking with like the game maker he assumes or whatever. And player 456 he wants to go back in the games because he gets like a chip in his tooth that they're going to be able to track like the people back home are going to be able to track where to find this island because this island is so hard to find where they're hosting these Squid Games and that's the fuck what they want to know. So yeah, he has like all this money, so he's like buying like a literal SWAT team. Like what is going on? Like he has a SWAT team that's like following him, the police guy's following him. Um and then I don't know, a sniper like shot their tires from a building up above. Like really like he took out their vehicles in like 2 seconds and now he's stuck in a limo. And obviously, when he gets to the games, he finally gets to the Squid Games. The chip is taken out of his tooth. Obviously, like they have these little like scanners that are probably like X-rays that they go over everybody, and like obviously they're gonna take the GPS thing out. So like he's at the games, no GPS, and like the GPS is like tracked somewhere in the middle of the sea or whatever. So they're being looped somewhere completely different, completely off course from their original plan, and he's in the games. And they start with red light, green light again, which is fine. I don't think that's like anything crazy. Like, it's Squid Game. And I was like, oh, are they going to play the same games? Player 456 is trying to like warn everyone, be like, oh my god, we're all going to die. All this shit. Obviously, no one believes them. But then this is so sad. The first person who dies is literally like the it girl. Like she has like a bee land on her, and then she's just like screaming about it, and then gets shot. You know, point blank. But I was like, damn, like she like, why you gotta kill off someone like the best people first? Like she, I think she would have been like such a fun character. Like she looked so cool and just like she didn't give a fuck. You know. Um, but yeah, she freaked out about a bug and then it killed her. And then player 456, like, he was guiding everyone through the way, like, how to get through the game. Like, literally screaming at the top of his lungs, like, crazy, crazy. And since I watched season 1 and 2 back to back, he was able to save a lot of people in that first game. I think over half the people died in the first Squid Game from red light green light, especially because like they're just like panicking in the beginning. But this one, a majority of them survived. Not many people even really died. I mean, there was still a panic, but like he kept it under control a little bit. And then they finally get to um they finish the game. They get to the barracks where they're informed on like really like what the games are. And player 456, he reveals he's a previous winner, and people are like, you know, they're questioning, you know, oh, like, should we do the games? Should we not do the games? But him revealing that he's a winner honestly brought a lot more people voting yes to play the games because they're like, oh, we're gonna have an advantage. Like, crazy, crazy. So, like, his plan kind of backfired in that way of, you know, revealing that he's a previous winner and trying to get people to, like, not vote yes or whatever. Um, but it was just kind of, I don't know. They took so many votes. I had to start skipping them. They took like 3 votes where literally the entirety of everyone is taking a vote. Like it was just so exhausting. Like I didn't pay attention to the votes too much. I just paid attention to the outcome and every time they wanted to keep playing the games. But it was just like we're taking another vote. Why are we voting like every episode to play the games? Like just like I know it's pretty 50-50, but like oh my god, that was annoying. Um and then they play the next game, which is like a surprise game. Um, what was the surprise game? Oh, it was like they played like a bunch of like children's games in a row while they're doing a lap, and that one was crazy. That one I would absolutely die from. Oh my god. Like they showed all these people passing this. Like there is no way. I bet there were like if that was like real life, there would be like 10 teams that passed that. Like literally like no one's passing that. Like you literally like there's a time frame and you're taking a lap and like these games look like they're literally like you have to give an arm and a leg to try to figure it out and actually like get it. Like you have to be like so good to like really get these games. And even like people are getting it on the first try for like three of the games and they mess up one game and they're like dead. Like there's no way that many people would have passed that. Like whatever. But there was like one with dice that I literally want to learn how to play because it literally just looks fun. Like I would have so much fun just like playing that for hours trying to figure it out and like do the flips or whatever. So I'm gonna figure that out. Also, complete side note, I literally have this like right here. I've been eating this is from season 1, but he ate dry ramen with like seasoning on it and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna eat that. And then I ate it and it's fucking good. It's fucking good. You just like crush it up and then the little seasoning packet in there, just amazing. But I've been eating so much that I literally am afraid that I'm gonna have like a salt overdose. So I like literally asked the doctor, like, oh my god, like, am I okay eating this? I don't even think he gave me an answer now that I think about it. But I mean, it's good. It's good. If you're craving salt, you're probably fine. Just I don't know. I'm not a scientist, doctor, whatever. Um, so they played that game, and I'm like, literally, like, no one's surviving that, but literally a majority of them did. Like, you're actually joking. That's not even right. Um, and again, they take like another vote. Now, I'm bored. I'm bored. And they're switching perspectives between like him at the games and like the people, like the police guy like I was gonna say back home. I don't. They're just like on a ship, like looking for the island, pretty much. And that part's like pretty boring. They're just looking for an island, and they keep like not finding it. That's that's literally what's going on the other end. Um, but back at the Squid Games, they take another vote, and like everyone's just voting yes, like keep it going because there's a clause this time if they play the games that like if they quit the games they also get to split the money. And I think that's on people's mind is like they want to get it up to a certain part. And I think that is one of the themes is like everyone keeps saying like whenever they do the vote, like one more, just one more game, one more game. And they say that literally with every game. That's great. Greed. Greed. But it's crazy like if you think about that like life changing money and like it really like does something to the psyche. Like people are like they like fiending for it. You know what I mean? So that's going on. Um, they take another vote. They keep going. Um, there's like a lot of drama between the characters. A lot too. There's a lot of just like talking back and forth. I'll get to the characters. I think probably at the end because I do want to get into the characters. There's so many fun ones. Um, but yeah. The plot's actually pretty short. They go to another game And this game, they're like playing, um, think of like a carousel. They're like on this platform that's spinning, and they have to. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess. You have there's going to be a number that gets shouted, and that amount of people need to head to a room before the timer goes down. So they'll shout like four, and then you have to get in a group of four and be in a room. Like they're surrounded by doors, and you have to go in one of those doors um, as four people to like survive the game. So like people are getting left behind. Some people are like hiding in rooms, so like there'll be like a fifth person in a room, and they have to like get them out. Um, what else happened? But like that's how like people get eliminated is like you either don't find a partner or like it's just kind of a situation when you get to the room. Oh, or there could be like another group of four in the door, and then they like don't go to the door next to them, and they instead try to fight them, which is like, what do you mean? There's literally a billion doors, and they're fighting with each other in one room. Like the door is right next to you, and the door's right next to that door. But that game's crazy. I don't think anything super crazy happens. Kind of a little insight to the characters though. Thanos is literally so hilarious. Thanos is actually like anytime he was on screen, I was like laughing, giggling, smiling. Like he was just so funny. Like oh my god, when he pushed people down and red light, green light, I cackled, bitch. Like literally smiling ear to ear, and he like murdered like four people. Like he's just like oh my, he was so funny. Like that sounds horrible, but like if you like watch it, it's like funny. um yeah, so there's the carousel. More people get eliminated. I feel like the carousel probably should have came before the game before, because again the game before was so much harder. Oh my gosh, like talk about choking. I would absolutely choke that game. I think most people would agree to. Like that one, you would just die. You would die. You would die. They go back after that, and then this is when they have another fight. They had a fight in the first season. During the night, they just tussled or whatever. They get in a tussle in the bathroom, the boys' bathroom. I really like. I was watching on screen, but I was really confused, like how everyone started fighting. Like I understood the first fight, because like the guys they obviously had like conflict, but like everyone else joined the fight, and I was like, what? I guess it was the fight was between the people who wanted to stay and the people who wanted to leave the games, but like that was not the vibe I got from that. Whatever, I probably could have missed something. um so that happens, and then they kind of, I don't even think they realized they could kill each other. Maybe they realized the whole time, but they realized that they want to take people out on each other's sides from the people who wanted to vote to stay versus wanted to leave. So they're just like fighting with each other. And when night comes, they're gonna like attack and murder each other. And now this is where the story like really takes a turn. So player 456, the main character, he, I don't even know, he has like this group of people, and he's somehow convinced them that we don't need to be worried about the people who are literally going to try to murder us at night, the people who want to keep playing the games. We want to instead attack the Squid Games themselves. And I like I guess now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense, but like all of them just wanted to go home, and like there was just so much rivalry between the two. Like it doesn't make sense in my head that like the other people would be on board with that, because this is player 456's mantra. This is not like the people in the games. Like they just want to like leave the games. Like they don't care to like do this whole, oh, let's go like find the game maker and figure something out from there. Like I don't think anyone else was thinking that, but like somehow he brought his just like general team that he was working with the whole time, to this consensus: we're gonna have a sneak attack and grab the guns from the. I keep calling them Squid Game people, but like the stormtroopers. They're like stormtroopers. So they have a fight in the night, and so many people on the side that like just wants to leave and go home like gets murdered because I guess that's what they want to do. And he says it's like an opportunity to attack, but I just like I don't believe that they would be so easily convinced of that. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like you would want to like defend yourself against the people who are trying to like murder you first. Because they're there for the games the first time and everyone like somehow dismisses everything he's saying like at all times, but then like when it comes to this everyone's suddenly on board. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. It's not like a big deal, but I just kind of noticed. I'm like, wait, why is everyone jumping on board with this? So their side is getting like absolutely like murdered, like sneak attack murdered. And then whenever they come, the Squid Game stormtroopers, they come to like pick up the bodies. They're like hiding under the beds and like steal their guns. So now they have all these guns, and I don't even think they really have like a plan. They're just like, we're gonna like storm them or something. Um, and they're just kind of like running through the Squid Game areas and like attacking the people. Um, the Squid Game guys. Uh, the mask. Oh, they call them masked men. I'm like, I don't want to say stormtroopers. They're not stormtroopers, but they attack the masked men, and they're oddly doing well. Like no one's dying on their side, and like the masked men are like somehow just absolutely getting murdered. To be fair, they do like I think half or even over half of their team are literally like army soldiers. So like they kept talking about how they were in the Marines. So like that makes sense. But they had like regular people and like they were fine. They were holding their own, and I'm like, okay, I guess slay. But to be fair, the masked men, I mean, are they really that like good with weapons? I guess I don't know. I like they're really just like shooting people who are just like standing there. So maybe they're incompetent with weapons. But they are like absolutely like bulldozing the masked men. Like they are getting through. They run out of ammo. Oh well, they start running out of ammo, and things get a little hazy. Um, there's this one girl, and she's like absolute beast, like marine, and she's like really taking control, and um, she wants to like. They find out that the masked men they have like ammo on them, so she wants to go back to like all the people that they murdered before and take their ammo and bring it back to the group so they have ammo. But then there was this other guy who's like, no, like I'll do it, and it's like a complete like he just like freezes honestly like when he gets the ammo. And honestly, she should have just like said like, dude, like I'll just do it because I mean you want to have trust in people, but like that's rough. That's rough. Um. So yeah, they run out of ammo, and the guy freezes, so they can't get more ammo, and then everyone pretty much dies. I think there's um there's the girl who went back because he was taking so long to get the ammo. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Everyone else in the group died though, besides her and player 456. And then that's where the story ends. And there's nothing wrong with that because I looked up online and like I guess they're coming out with season 3 soon. But it's not like a season. Like this feels like the ending like it feels like there should have been like just one or two more episodes. And they could still have a cliffhanger, but like it the games weren't even done. Like this random plan that they had, I think was literally only the last episode. Like there was so much going on as well. Like there was like um with the guys who were like on the ship, like the police guy, um, the people. I keep saying back home, but that doesn't matter. They're on a ship. They're not in South Korea. They're on a ship. Um, and they're trying to look, but like one of them is like a traitor. Like he just like randomly murders someone, and it's like, oh, the guy who literally owns the ship is like leading them away from it. Which is kind of a crazy twist, but it's like, wait, like how does he know though? Like that doesn't even whatever. Um but yeah, it just ended so abruptly. I was literally like, wait, what? Because people were saying it was a bad ending, and like I don't necessarily think that, but it's not finished. That's not a season. Like that nothing got resolved. Like there's literally they just had a plan and it failed and that was the last scene and like, oh, okay, I guess the next season will be part two. Um but I was just like, oh, interesting. I do still think it's a really good watch. But I do think it is kind of one that like you're kind of watching half the time and kind of not the other half of the time. It's so fun though when they do like Squid Games though because they're so cool. Like, both of the new ones were really fun to watch. Really fun to watch. Um, the one with the like kind of relay race type deal, and the one with like the carousel platform music and the doors. Like those were really fun to watch. Like that's where Squid Game does things like really right. But when they're voting like a billion times, like y'all, like I don't want to watch like a fifth vote. Like I'm done. I'm done. Like stop taking a vote. Like honestly, like that should be a clause. Like if there's two votes and like the majority keeps winning, like there will be no more votes because like no more votes. No more votes. Okay. Now we can talk about people in the show. So player 456. I don't remember this when I watched season one, but player 456 was constantly trying to like be a leech. Like he really was a leech and like he only cared about himself. He didn't really care like how he hurt people and stuff. And like it was kind of interesting in season one. They're always like, "Oh, but you're such a good guy," and I was like, "Wait, what?" I never got that vibe. Like he's always trying to like undermine someone in some way, shape, or form, where he's not taking responsibility. He like everything's like off of him and onto someone else. I guess he didn't want to kill people though, so I mean that's like definitely something. But just like, um, just like I don't want to say like morally corrupt, but like he's just like trying to undermine people in a lot of ways. And like I don't remember that, but he definitely doesn't do that anymore. He did change in that way. But he was just really quiet. I think he was just very vengeful, very angry, very um upset. And like I feel like he got to the games and like things didn't work out the way he wanted to and he was like really just like relishing in that, which is like how could you not feel that way, you know? Um but yeah, he was just very there was a lot of resentment, a lot of pride, a lot of power, kind of coming from his character this season in season two. But he was fine. I think there's definitely been growth. Like he's, I don't know. I really like Player 456. Even like seeing him in like his his bad times. Like it really humanizes him. Like he's not um an angel or a demon either. Like he's like he's just trying to do right. I think is kind of what I'm getting at with him. But I really like Player 456. He's an interesting protagonist. The police guy this season, he was pretty epic last season. This season, I don't remember much about him at all. Honestly, he was just kind of like one of the guys. Like I keep saying back home, they're just like the guys who were not on the game looking for the game. Um, back on this. Like, what does that even mean? He didn't do much, honestly. Like anytime they were showing them, I was like so bored. Like nothing was happening, and like every trail that they led just like led to nothing. So like they were just kind of like sitting ducks, honestly, and they didn't know what to do. So I mean, I don't know what to say. That's what they did. Um, there were other people in the games too. So there were I'll just go off the top of my head. Player 333. He was like a YouTuber, I guess, and like scammed people. With like kind of like a Bitcoin type deal. It was called. I don't even know. But it like failed completely and everyone lost their money. So like one of the other guys, Thanos, like he's like won his money back. Player 333, I just did not really pay much attention to. It sounds like he just kind of um had a lot of loose ends that he did not make amends with, and he was just kind of like dealing with those the whole time with this girl that I think he got pregnant. I think she got pregnant by him. She gave an incredible line. Like I like immediately woke up um, from my deep slumber during the show. Um, and because he like wanted to go home, and he's like, we can literally split the money. We can pay off all my debt and like live happily. And she's like, I'm using this money for my baby, not your debt, bitch. And then they keep talking, but like in my mind they didn't talk after that. So that was pretty epic. But overall, player 333 very forgetful. Thanos was so funny. Oh my god, like he was just like so just like comedic relief. He was always just like on screen, like he had this little cross like as a necklace, and he would I don't even know what drugs he had. Like he was just like, just pills in there that he would like pop and just like trip. He was always going after these girls and just like, oh, I'm a rapper, like all these things. And he just didn't give a fuck. Like he was just like really humorous and like funny. He had purple hair, which was fun. These like cool tattoos. I was just like, whoa, like that's crazy. Um, and again, like that first game, he just like everyone's like shocked that people were dying, and he pushed 4 people down like in a row after he popped the pill. Like that's crazy, but hilarious. I mean, we're talking about like fake people dying. Um, and then oh my god, what else did he do? Oh, when he was on the carousel, him and his friend were like dancing on the carousel, just tripping. But he was just like vibing, like always tripping, always vibing, and like that was his vibe. And like I don't know, that was funny. Um, his friend though was just kind of annoying. He um he was just a dick, and he didn't even like Thanos. Like when Thanos died, he's like that prick. It's like oh, um, he was also really rude to this guy. I think his name was Mean Sue. Mean Sue. He was just kind of a quiet guy. He was being a dick to him just because like he could, just trying to like exert his power over him because he saw that he was a bit more passive. Um, so he was just kind of a dick. Like he no notes. Like he was just annoying. Um, I mean, Sue was fine. It was just sad that like I think what's the word? Um, a lot of people just don't think they have power, and I think that's just um really sad because like I think for Minsu, like I see like situations that I've been in that like really remind me of that, and it's like oh my god, like you just like you feel like you don't have power, but you do have power. Like you don't have to like be like those guys. Like you can find power within yourself. You know what I mean? Um, so I mean, I think it's definitely a lesson to be learned. Um, like from Minsu. It was just like kind of sad to watch, especially because like I know I've like struggled with that, like just being like more passive, where like I don't want to be passive, you know what I mean? But it's just like I think a coming to age moment when you realize like, oh, I do have power. You know what I mean? I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, that was like I don't know. Interesting to watch, I guess. I've never really seen a character like that, like on TV. Um, but yeah, it was just it was sad. It was sad. Um, what's another character? Oh, okay. So one of the Marines, she was trans, and I didn't even like know like first watching. I was like, oh, okay. It was cool. I was like, oh shoot, like there you really don't see like trans people like ever being represented. Like genuine like name like one transgender like representative. Like there's literally just like none. You know what I mean? Even like these some of these movies like I know people kind of reference this is like not these are not transgender people, but it's like cross dressing. Um is like Medea and like Miss Doubtfire. Like I feel like that's like pretty, popular, but I can't really like name like on my head like transgender that are like kind of that level, I guess that people would know about. I really can't think of that. I really can't think of that. I know there's what's her name from Orange is the New Black. I love her. Oh, I wish I remembered her name. But she has like a little hair salon like in the prison, like it's cute. Um but like yeah, there's like no transgender representation. I was honestly shocked that they like had a transgender person like in Squid Game. But it was cool, and I think they were trying to like tackle like issues, I guess. Um, I don't know why I did quotes like issues, um, like in the transgender community, because she was a Marine. Um, they had a scene where she went into the bathroom, and they also showed like there was this like older woman who was like talking about like how outlandish she looked. So like there were like certain things I was like, wait, are they doing that because of like the transgender ban in the military or like the debate about like bathrooms and stuff? I didn't know if they were trying to do that or if they weren't. Like I don't know if they're I don't know. I don't know whatever. She was like so cool though. Like I don't know, she was just a badass bitch. I think people do kind of talk about characters like her though where um they frame it like Mary Sue and like a plot device because she really wasn't bad at anything. It was really just like she talked about like her being trans. Um, so like I don't know. There's not much to say. She was just really cool. She was like a Marine and like she didn't give a fuck. Um, so that was cool. And like when there was the ending part, like she really like took charge, and that's like where you really start to see like a bit of her. Um, but yeah, I mean, no notes after that. I just thought it was really cool that they had someone who was trans. Um, what was another thing? People. Oh, there was that one girl who got like murdered from the bee. I was like, really? They really had to kill her off. There was another girl. She's like best friends with Minsu. Um, I don't really know. Like, she was just kind of like talking and stuff. Like, she was really cool too. But like, um, I don't know. I wonder if it's more focused around Minsu, even though he doesn't really talk or anything. But I mean, um, I don't know. She kind of died, and she's Minsu's friend. Um, there was player 456's friend, and he died. I mean, I don't think he really talked much about anything either. Oh, okay. There was the old lady who I really loved. Like she was just so fun. Like she was so nice to everyone. She had like that transgender comment, which like, hello, if you don't live under a rock, like obvious, like literally anyone over the age of like 50, like you remotely have something that deviates outside of like any type of like normalcy and like um they're just like what like just all these comments, you know what I mean. But she was really nice, and then she became friends, like besties with the transgender marine. That was really cool because I don't know, it shows that like, you know, like even people who like don't understand you, like you can find some level of understanding, even though she didn't, you know, she still admitted like, you know, I don't even know if I'd say you're beautiful, which was a crazy line. Like what? But she said like, you look fine. Like I think you look fine. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But she was so sweet, and like she just wanted to like go home, have everyone over for dinner, and she was, you know, just kind of like taking control of her son a little bit. Um, you know, just like she's giving grandma like, I don't know what to say. Like she was just like a grandma figure, but it was just um cute. Like her relationship with everyone. Like she really cared about people. Like I think that's what I really liked about her. And there was her son. I don't. There's no notes. I mean, he was there a lot, but like I don't remember anything about him. Oh, and there was, okay. There's one more character I'd like to talk about, and it's the game maker. Just like the first season, they have the game maker playing as player one, and you're just kind of like thinking like the whole time, like, oh, dramatic irony, like, what is he like gonna do with this? You know, his position being in the games. You know, and I don't know. It everything was like fine, and he was just like friends with them and everything, and then like the last second he like shot two of them. So I mean, I don't even know like exactly what his mantra was. Obviously, it's like get on their side and like he's an enemy from within, you know. But like I don't know exactly what he wants to do or why player 456 is still alive. Like everyone else from the rebellion got shot. Why are they keeping 456 alive? Like it seems a little, you know. Oh, or even this is another reason why I think they're always just trying to keep him alive. They need to keep him alive for some type of reason. I don't know what. But when they were doing the like the relay race game, um player 456, he had to like kick this little thing, and he was gonna miss the last kick, but the guy who was the game maker, he like reached his foot, they were chained together, and he was able to make the last kick for him. It didn't hit his foot, but since they were changed together, 456, he was able to hit it. Um, but it was like, wait, like any chance that like he had to die, like he's always getting saved in some way, and I'm just like, why? Like, why are they really trying to keep this dude alive? Like, I'm wondering if they're trying, like, they never really get pushed back like this from the winners or people from the game, so they're like, wait, how do we handle this? Or like, there's something like special going on, or I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. I mean, it was fine. It was fun. I really liked a lot of the characters. Like I said. But yeah, kind of zoning in and out. I would say, like it was fun, but kind of my consciousness was not there half of the time. Um, but yeah, I'd say go give it a watch. Go give it a watch. Or if you watched it too, I literally just like said the whole plot, whatever. Um, like leave me like comments down below, like what are your thoughts? Because like I've only heard like bad things and like a couple good things too. I guess I've heard like both, but like I know it's mixed. But what do you think about it? I think I would say it was pretty good, and I'm excited for season three, and hopefully season three like really like brings their A game because I just want to know like lore. I want to know the lore of like who all these people are. They literally, oh my god, one other character I completely forgot about. Um, but they did have one of the masked men. It was a masked woman. She was like one of the characters that we followed, and it really didn't lead to anything. Like she was just kind of like um one of the masked people, and she was just like doing her job. And like a couple of the other masked guys, they were like threatening her, but that's like really all that came of it. And like they had her on the chopping block. Um, but again, it doesn't explain like exactly how all these people go there. Even though she was working a regular job and then she like for the Squid Game she got a job opportunity. But what does that mean? Like, are you getting paid like crazy good? Are you being trapped into doing that or what? Um so it's like my one thing that I came in with I was like, oh wait, I'm still confused completely about it. But yeah. I hope you have a good one. I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go get some sleep. Um my video is literally lagging for some reason. And I hope you have a great day, okay? Go get some minis, go watch Squid Games. Look at my wrist. Why does it look like that? I look crazy. Bye, everyone.